We are live. What's going on, everybody? Good to be back. Another episode of Vetted with Irving Fryar and Hollis Thomas. I am Irving Fryar, and that's my dog over there, Hollis Thomas. What's going on?
Chilling. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Let's get this first read out of the way, and we can get into business. All right.
Well, the first read is the schedule. The Eagles schedule is out, so why don't you go to phillysportstrips.com and book one of these spectacular trips. We stay at the finest hotels, and we have players like myself there, and you know I'm out to have a good time. I turned on. I still have my volume to my.
Turn your volume down, man.
on my phone. But go to phillysportstrips.com and not only book an Eagles trip, but we also have the trips for. I'm listening. I hear myself in the background.
Yeah, you got to turn that down.
It's all turned down, I think. Can you hear it? Okay, I don't hear it no more. I'm listening. I hear myself. That's you.
Okay, good.
See, that wasn't me.
No, it was you. It was you.
But we were talking about phillysportstrips.com, and they have the best. They do all the sports, including with the official travel team for the Philadelphia Union. But if you're looking for the hot ticket item now, the Eagles schedule just came out. We'll have stars like not like myself. We'll have other surprise Eagles on the trip. If you go to the site at phillysportstrip.com and take a gander and tell them the Tank sent you, or that you heard things on A2D radio, I'm pretty sure they'll give you a quality deal.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. But I have to wing it. That's what I have to give you. I have to mainly get Philly Sports Trips out there as many times to let them know we have baseball outings, Flyers outings.
Gotcha.
I don't want to mention Sixers because it's a
Man,
it's a
do we want to talk about the Sixers?
No, we don't.
A little. I mean, I was away.
Yeah,
I was away. I was in Barbados. You know, there had people from all over the country, all over the world in Barbados. Man, I was just. It just seemed to me, where's the dog? Where's the dog? I mean, I don't follow basketball like that. I'm not a big basketball fan. I'm not a big Sixers fan, but I am. You know, I'm here close to Philly, so I'm rooting for the Sixers. You know, I got issues with Embiid. I got issues with James Harden. I do. Yeah, I really do. You know,
it's the old school hard work thing. It's
right.
Like hard work, and I know what you're talking about with the dog. That's pretty much what I like to call killer instinct gold. If you're not ready to put somebody away, or you're not looking to win, not by any means necessary, but it should be fun to kick ass. It's like. I see to help you out here. Here's what happened to me. I was in Chicago visiting my nephew, Malcolm. He's probably watching. Malcolm, congratulations.
What's up, Malcolm?
He graduated from the University of Columbia, Chicago. And so we went down there. My mom and everybody came down. I'm the only jackass with 76ers gear on because on Mother's Day, we decided we're going to watch the game. We're watching the game, so I'm sitting there. The first half goes pretty swimmingly. But then for some odd reason in the third quarter, and I think all the fans who are watching with me can attest to this, what the hell is wrong with a layup? We shot ourselves completely out of the game, and we didn't. And the body language, and I know you're going to get to this. The body language, nothing about their body language said we're going to come back and win.
Right.
And I was sitting there, I was just like pissed off. And then somebody's like, I was surprised that they fired Doc Rivers. I was like, I wasn't. They kept him a year too long. To me, they did. And it's not. I'm not going to even say it wasn't his fault. We got to the same exact point 3 years in a row. What's the use of beating a dead horse?
Did you ever see Shaq get his shots blocked like Joel Embiid got his shots blocked? No. When and did you see Shaq, taking 3-point shots? I know Joel Embiid can hit the 3-pointer, but when it comes down for the rubber meeting the road, it comes down to you have to get this win. When it comes down to the last two games and you moving on to the playoffs, Joel Embiid needs to park himself in the paint, and every time he gets the ball, why is he laying the ball up?
I don't know.
Dunk the basketball. Slam. Anybody puts their hand in the way, you break their hand on the rim. You dunk, you slam it. And James Harden, where's the intensity?
I know.
You're in the playoffs. The last game 7 where they got demolished up in Boston, his lack of intensity, it seemed like he just didn't care, turning the ball over, no enthusiasm. It seemed like he was a deer. In his eyes, if you look in his eyes, he was a deer in headlights. I don't know what that is. He's a former NBA MVP, and here's a guy. I'm not getting my behind whooped like that. All the games I ever lost in the NFL, I'm not getting my behind whooped like that. Matter of fact, here's what we used to say when I was in high school. Okay, we're going to lose this game. Somebody's getting it.
Yep.
We're going to lose the game, but somebody getting it.
We might lose, but they're going to respect us.
Somebody going to catch one here in a minute. Yeah.
I'm playing to the end.
All the way to the end.
I was like, what are you still playing hard for? What, to give you the easy way out? They're going to have to take – the only way I'm not going to play hard is if they put me on the sideline.
Yep.
I'm gonna, like, I don't know how you go out there and not give it your all.
Listen, all the fights, I fought a lot when I was a kid. I lost a lot when I was a kid too. But all the fights I lost, I became friends with the person that beat me. Why? Because they didn't want to fight me again. They beat me, but they didn't want to fight me again.
Because you made them respect you. It wasn't the easy win that they were making concessions for us, and I was just like, there are no excuses.
The Sixers, they need to start over again. Yeah, and Doc needs to be fired.
Yeah.
God bless you, Doc. You just didn't get the job done.
Well, he got to the exact same place. It was that to me. He got to the exact same place every year that he was here under his contract. And the part that pissed me off more was he never really corrected the mistakes that we had in the previous 2 years of turning the ball over and losing leads late, and it's like not knowing when to take a timeout and I was like, I feel like he was holding Tyrese Maxey back as far as like his growth.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he was holding him back.
Well, I mean, when Ben Simmons was here, there's nothing that Doc could do about Ben Simmons. He can't make him shoot the ball. No. You don't want to shoot the ball. I can't make him shoot the ball, particularly in today's game.
Right.
But some of this stuff that went on in terms of, like I said, what seemed to me would be the lack of intensity and purpose when it comes to the playoffs. It just, man, some of that's coaching. Yeah. Some of that's coaching.
And that was the thing that a lot of the outlets were talking about, that, he was what he had a 27% winning percentage in closeout games in game sevens. And you hear Rasheed Wallace saying that the players were on the sideline when they won the title. The players were on the sideline making the in-game adjustments. It was just he got out coached, and it was right. And it was just like you brought the other guys in the game way. I feel like you brought them in way too late, but that's just my opinion. If I'm not getting things done, especially early in that third quarter, where we were missing, like we didn't score a point, hit a basket for 8 minutes straight. And I was sitting up there at 76ers gear.
Call timeout, something.
Call timeout. Put somebody in who wants to,
right.
Or at least shoot a layup. Take a layup, a dunk or something.
I don't know. MVP, he didn't look like an MVP.
No, he didn't.
He should never. I was just so embarrassed. I was embarrassed. He got it when he was getting shot. Like, got blocked 2 or 3 times in the last 2 games. I'm like, how in the world is this happening? He's not aggressive enough for me. And then again, there's the whole tendency, or the whole, I should say, the common trait with him is that the latter part of the season, he fades away physically.
Starts breaking down physically.
He fades away physically. Man, and that's why you train. Exactly. That's why you work hard. That's why you lift weights. So that
McDonald's is not, it shouldn't be.
So you're ascending at the end of the season.
He need to holler at you about what to eat and how to eat it, because McDonald's should not be the cornerstone of your meal prep. So I've been on every diet known to man to try to stay unfat. But it's like, it was like if you know, I was doing cardio and stuff after games because I knew I had to keep up with the smaller guys. Right. After practice, when everybody else was chilling and stuff, I had to lift weights, and then I had to go do cardio so I could keep up with you guys. So I wouldn't be that fat guy that everybody's talking about. Hey, come on. It's like, no, you're supposed to do things. You're supposed to do the things to get you over the top. And I don't think he's been taught how to be a pro yet.
No, it's just, well, I mean, we could talk about this all. In today's sports, the athletes are babied,
coddled,
entitled, more so. Well, they're just that way. Yeah. That was not a part of the plan. That was not a part of the agenda, at least when I played ball. And I know you didn't play as early as I did in the 80s, but you did play.
You were in that era where your training camps was brutal.
Well, we had 6 weeks of training camps, 6 weeks of tour days, and 2.5, 3 hours full pads twice a day.
Yep, and see that I was bitching when I got to
shoot,
and they was telling me about this stuff. I was like, I need to shut the hell up.
But I did that all the way, my first 9 years in New England, and then 3 years in Miami. Shula was a
brutal
down there in that heat.
He was just like Bill Parcells, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, he was old school. Yeah. That was one of the problems we had as Dolphins, as the Miami Dolphins, as a team.
Right.
And I always wondered why. At the beginning of the season, when I played them twice a year, I was in New England, AFC East.
Right.
We would play them twice a year. Did that for 9 years. We would always handle them early in the season. We'd handle them it would be a tough game early in the season. They would play us early. We always play them the last game of the season, Monday night in Miami. But we would always beat them.
Yeah.
And I found out why, because Shula, as time changed and teams changed and the coaching changed, and they started resting their players a little bit, particularly
taking care of the horses.
Particularly in the latter part of the season. We're still doing 2.5, 3 hour practices in that heat down in Miami. So at the beginning of the year, we're fine because everybody's in the heat.
Right.
But then when you get to the latter part, when it's starting to cool off all across the country, we're still going back home and practicing 2.5, 3 hours a day. I remember one of the games later in the season, my second year down in Miami. I was running the route. I went to shift gears, and there was nothing there. I couldn't shift gears because I left it all in the practice field.
Yeah.
So that old school sometimes in some ways it didn't work.
Well,
particularly when everything else started changing.
Yeah. Speaking of old school, we should take a moment
for Jim Brown
to mention that that Jim Brown passed away. I don't know exactly all the stuff all of what happened, but we just got the news from the missus while we were sitting up here. And I remember watching, not so much watching him when he played, but watching the highlights of him and stuff. And I was like, man, he was a bad man on the football field, and I get consequently later on, not so much later on, but like off the football field as well.
Yeah, well, you can't, and it's 80. I think he was 87 years old.
Yeah,
you can't mention football, NFL football, without mentioning Jim Brown's name. Yeah. He was the epitome of tough. Man, that cat was a tough guy. I got a chance. When in between my time at Philadelphia, that off season before I went to Washington, I got the opportunity to be in a movie called Any Given Sunday. Y'all can check that out. It's an older movie. But I was
Steve and Willie Beeman.
I got a few parts in there, and he was a part of the cast, and I got a chance. That was the first time I actually had a chance to sit down and spend some time with him and really just talk to him about whatever. He was that kind of guy. That kind of man. I mean, he obviously stood up for Black rights. He stood up for what was right, more so than anything else. And he would give it to you straight, no chaser. He was going to tell you the truth. And it was funny, man, because everybody who was there, whether it was Jamie Foxx, whether it was LL Cool J, whether it was Bill Bellamy, all those cats were in that movie, man. And we would sit there and listen to him, and he would talk in this. He had a deep voice, but he was a kind of like a gentle giant.
He commanded the room.
But yes, as he talked, he would scare you. He would actually, he would strike.
It was like your old school,
your
old school dad when he told you not to do something.
He would strike fear in you. There was just such an awe and such a respect being in his presence. It just, man, it was awesome. I think we got to go to break. It's quarter after. I see Ralph saying we got a commercial break. So we're going to take this commercial break and we'll be right back.
Hey, Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
We're back. Hey, Ralph, do you see that comment from Nate Moss? Y'all boys think he was the greatest non-QB player of all? You see that?
You talking about Jim Brown?
Yeah, Jim Brown. He's talking about,
you have to be.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, you got to take all things into consideration. Yeah. You got to take all things into consideration. That's a part of why, some of the earlier players in the NFL, you can't compare some of these players today to some of because there are a whole lot of variables that came into play that don't come into play today. And back when that's when it first started. Back when Jim Brown played,
when the rules were meager.
Yeah, when there were no rules, and there was all kinds of illegal stuff going on. Yet and still, he toted that ball, and they didn't pass the ball a whole lot back then.
No, they didn't.
He toted that ball, and guess what? Everybody in the stadium and everybody on the other side of the field knew Jim Brown was going to get the ball, and he still got the ball and still accumulated all those yards and became one of the best running backs to ever touch a football, if not the best ever. And yes, in my mind, I would say, yes, he is the best non-quarterback. He's the best player. Forget non-quarterback. I don't think Tom Brady could have done Jim Brown could have done not in that era. Yeah, I don't think Tom Brady could have lasted in that era.
Not without cheating.
Yeah, no.
I don't care what nobody says. I'm not mentioning him in the same breath with the greatest.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I can't do it.
Hey, what's going on, John? Is that Gas still Gillion? Is that right? Did I say that right?
I don't know.
What's our hey, Ralph, throw across the screen there our agree to disagree.
Castiglio.
Yeah, we're gonna put that on. There it is. Y'all, here's the agree or disagree today. The Eagles will have a better regular season win-loss record in 2023 than they did in 2022. Do you agree or do you disagree that the Eagles will have a better regular season win record loss in 2023 than they did in 2022?
That's interesting. What do you think?
What do I think?
What?
Based on the schedule, and we'll get to that, probably in the second half of the show. But based on their schedule, no, I disagree with that. They're playing, they're playing what the
Patriots right off the bat.
Well, they're playing the Eagles because they won the NFC East. They have to play the first place in other divisions,
right? Plus
the AFC East and AFC West. So cross division games against the NFC West and the AFC East. That's cross divisional games, but they're playing the best. They have a tough. Really, and everybody complained or kind of said last year because they had an easy schedule. Yeah, it was a cakewalk.
Well, no, it was just like I said last year. It's going to be the same stuff this year. They're going to start talking crap after you kick a few people in the teeth. Oh, they haven't played anybody. That's going to be the first thing.
They're playing that. They have a tough record. Nobody can say that this year. They're playing the first place teams in every division. So. They're going to beat the best in order to be the best. But we'll get that in a minute. But no, they're not going to have a better record this year. I think I have them losing 5 or 6 games.
No, I don't have them losing that many.
I don't know. I mean, I would like to see them. I tell you what, they can have the same record as last year.
Close to it. I had them close to it with one more loss.
One more loss.
Yeah, only because I feel like there's gonna be some times where if we do what I feel like we're going to do and what we're supposed to do,
right?
Because it's like
but that's always the case.
Well, that's
always the case.
It's like when you have the bunch of guys who played like through college together and are trying to win on this level together to create something. Right. It's like when so I went to the alumni.
Right, I was going to ask you about. We can get into that. Go ahead.
The alumni rookie barbecue. And even
tell everybody about that. You were invited. I wasn't invited.
You weren't invited?
No, man. I'm kind of getting a little sick and tired of this stuff too with the Eagles. How the Eagles keep inviting you stuff and they don't invite me to stuff. Is that because you played there longer than me? But my feelings are hurt, and I'm gonna have to make a phone call, man. I'm really, I don't curse like I used to, but somebody about to make me curse.
Oh man, I gotta go. You going to the Eagles Youth Autism tomorrow?
I'm upset. No, I'm not going.
The challenge? Okay. I'm one of that too. So they have every year they
get about sick of you too.
They have the Eagles, the alumni and the rookies, all the rookies coming in. Mm-hmm. They Harold Carmichael, myself, Hugh Douglas, Mike Mamula was. It's a bunch of us that come, right. And we just sit in it. We talk, have like pretty much a little powwow with the young guys, and they go to each guy and stuff, and just sitting there talking to them and stuff. It's like sometimes you can see the guys who come in with be jerks. They think they know it all, and these kids are. I feel like they're coachable and they're looking to get better.
All of them, or did you have one or two of them that
all of them were really like into because Harold got up and spoke. It was like, and our basic message to them is like, if you come here and you play well, the city will love you. But if you stick up the joint, they're going to let you know.
Right.
I was like,
and it's not even necessarily play well; it's play hard.
Yeah,
play hard. Yeah.
And so we'd let them know that, and and it was just like a. And also the coaches were there. We want to talk about defense coordinator a little bit later. I got a chance to meet him and stuff, and it was an overall good time. Even Matt Patricia, I didn't even know he was that cool.
Okay,
that's like so we got a chance to sit down and talk, and the kids have it seemed like they're on the mission. And you mix that with what we already have, the core that we already have, and some of the older guys that we already have were looking to win one with Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to think about that too. It's guys who came back who could have just retired,
right?
Who came back because they wanted to play with this kid to try to help him win one.
Well, and they want to win one.
Yeah,
it ain't just about Jalen. They coming back because
but it's not just about Jalen. It's not just about Jalen.
They want to win a ring. This is the best place for them to do that, rather than to get traded or to sign with someone else. Stay here.
Because I know Brandon Graham could have went somewhere else, for bigger money. He came back here, and it's
about championship. This is the best place for them to win
and winning. And then it's not only that; it's the people here. Dude, it's like. I've been to three or four other places, and the people are cool and stuff, but it's nothing like here.
Right. The fans are. I've really had an opportunity over these last couple of years to get involved with the fans, be right in the middle of how things go, and start bleeding green, become a part of the fan base, and it's tremendous. Yes, it's nothing like anything. And I thought Nebraska, the University of Nebraska fans were the best, and they are some tremendous. I mean, they actually clap for the team. The opposing team, whether they win or lose, they clap for the opposing team when the opposing team leaves the field. So, but I thought Nebraska fans, they are the most cordial.
Well, I'm not looking for my
We're not looking for cordial.
I'm not looking for my fans.
Look, Pro Fan Talk. I think that's Marcus Thomas. Pro Fan Talk said, gotta answer them legend emails, Irv. I don't get legend emails. They must send them to you and Hollis, Marcus, but I don't get them.
I got a call.
Huh? Excuse me. Now just step on my head, Hollis. Hollis says I get a call. Marcus, if you get emails, I don't even get emails. So I don't know. I'm just
a week or so before.
Maybe I need to go up there and like I said, open some doors and stomp some feet and find out why I'm not a part of what's going on and how come I don't get word or invited. And I'm sick of it. Doggone it. I'm sick of it.
About it then.
I'm gonna stop being sensitive, though. I must not care anymore.
Yeah, well, just do something about it.
What I'm gonna do?
I don't know.
You don't want me to do something about it.
Go over there and say, hey, look,
no, you don't want me to do something about it.
Hey, look, I'm in town. Invite me to some stuff.
I live right here. What do you mean I'm in town? Like I'm visiting? I've always been here. I am never gone anywhere. I've always been here. What do you mean? They know I'm here.
I just work here.
Yeah. Don't make excuses. Excuses are monuments of nothingness that build bridges to nowhere, and those that use them are experts of nothingness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Excuses are like rumps. We all have them and they stink. That's
speaking of stinking. Listen,
get this one in.
Yeah, I got to get this out of my system.
And remind me to send you this one. It's one excerpt from the Family Guy where they say Spirit Airlines loading group, just fight it out and whoever's standing at the end can have the seats.
Listen, my wife and I, just everyone who's listening, God bless you all for being with us today. Chucks, I see you. Thomas, I see you. Brian, I see you. Pro Fan Talk, I see you too, bro. I see you. I'm sorry. I'm looking at all the
Jamie,
yeah. John. Yep. Nate.
Greg.
Okay, let me listen. Those of you who are listening right now, word of wisdom. All right. My wife and I just came back from Barbados. If you ever, I'm gonna give me the screen. If you ever have to fly through, don't do this. Don't ever fly through Miami International Airport. Don't ever. If you don't book anything, don't take any reservations, don't go on any trips where you have to go through the Miami International Airport. It is absolutely the worst. All right. That's a word of wisdom. Then also, here's another word or another word of advice. When you do fly, when you do go on a trip, please wash your behind.
Rigorously.
Wash your behind. Remember, you're going to be sitting in close quarters with people on a plane. This is the second time my wife and I have had to sit through someone who did not wash. And when you're on a plane for 2-3 hours, it can become extremely intolerable. It can become extremely torturous. Yes. So please, when you go on a plane, wash. Wash for the sake of other people. My gosh.
And you know the funk emanates more as you go up.
Funk emanates?
because of the air pressure.
Oh, yeah. And it emanates and circulates.
Like, oh, God.
Because you know that it's circulated air. So it's emanating and circulating.
Like, man, who keeps doing that?
And it just gets funkier and funkier. My goodness. And when you're right next to the person, it's like, oh my gosh.
Were your eyes watering the entire time?
Oh, I tried to sleep, man. I tried to sleep.
Good luck with
you try to play it off. You really want to say something.
You should start to bring a small bottle of Febreze.
You got another read, big dog. Then we're going to get to the schedule here.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Birds. Hey, what's up, Birds fans? It's Hollis Thomas here with some huge news. You know, the schedule came out last week, and you know, make sure you go to phillysportstrip.com and reserve a spot today. You'll get to watch Bird games in great cities and hang out with me. That's right, me. Philly Sports Trips books at the best hotels and has the best birds available joining us like myself. You see how I'm fixing it? What Craig gave me.
I see you fixing it.
Yeah, it's
fix it up, big dog.
Yeah, you guys know everybody knows that Tank enjoys a good time. So go to phillysportstrips.com and book them and tell them the Tank sent you and you heard it on A2D Radio. Thanks, Craig.
Thanks, Craig. Yeah. All right. Let me get back to these notes. So let's talk about
the schedule.
Yeah. I said notes, but we're on the schedule. Yeah, I'm talking about.
Yeah, I wrote all the schedule down just because I wanted to my W's and L's to be.
I'm keeping track of them. I got a pen,
and
a piece of paper over here, and I got Irving right here.
Okay,
and I got Hollis right there. Wins and losses. So because we're not going to get through all of them today.
Yeah,
today we'll have to pick it up again next week. So I want to make sure we keep track of them, the wins and losses, so everybody knows where we are. So week one. New England Patriots. It's a Sunday, September 10th, 4:25. It's on CBS.
Right.
It's a primetime game. The Eagles have a lot of primetime games this year, 2023.
We are, but it's when you're in the playoffs 2 times in a row, and then when you're in the playoffs 1 year, then the Super Bowl the next, you are a little bit of the darling. And you have a young good quarterback on his way to greatness.
And when you look at the team just overall, offensively, you know, a lot of teams have either a great quarterback, stacked offense, but they lack defensively.
Mm-hmm.
There's no team in the NFL that has
that are loaded like us,
that are loaded on both sides of the ball like the Eagles. And it's going to be, and obviously the entertaining world, the CBS's, NBC's, ESPN's, TNT's, all of those, they know that the Eagles are going to be closely watched by people this year who did not necessarily watch them last year. 1, because they went to the Super Bowl last year. 2, because of Jalen Hurts and, you know, his big contract and just got his master's degree. Man, that cat is just, he's unbelievable. And that's why I think because he's the leader of the team, not just the offense, he's the leader of the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe that unusual things are going to happen with this team. Like, for instance, since the Super Bowl era, there have only been 8 teams that have gone back to the Super Bowl the year after they made it to the Super Bowl. Only 8 teams. And that's what makes it so remarkable.
Right.
We go back for the Buffalo Bills. That's what make them such a remarkable team. The Buffalo Bills that went to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row. They lost 4 years in a row, which makes it even greater. They didn't get discouraged. They lost 4 years, but to go to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row is unheard of.
Yeah, to be able to sustain that.
Yeah, they were the best team ever to never win a Super Bowl, one, but they were the best team in that era of time. Forget the Super Bowl teams. They were the best team because just to get there 4 years in a row in and of itself, man, it was remarkable. And I played against those guys, and they were a great team. Jim Kelly and Andre Reed and Thurman Thomas. Yeah.
My rookie year, I think we played them. We played them here.
Yeah.
I'm my rookie year. Yeah. They kicked us around a little bit.
So I think because for me this year with the Eagles, anything less than a Super Bowl win
is uncivilized.
Is a bust for them, particularly with the moves they made, the draft, who we got the best person in the draft, Carter. We've been able to fill the holes from the folk who left, players that left on defense, and probably maybe even, if not, equalize it, maybe even make it even better defensively.
Yeah.
I think Desai is going to come in. He's going to be a little more aggressive than Gannon was.
Right.
And not aggressive in that he's going to blitz all the time, but like you say, move pieces around and make those offensive linemen that are playing against our defense, make them play one-on-one.
Yeah. Or think.
Or even think. Yeah.
It's like,
but even if they have to play one-on-one, if you get one-on-one, our guys are going to win.
Yeah. You expect our guys to win across the board. And to piggyback over what you were saying, we also got somebody late in the first round who I didn't think the kid was going to be there.
But he's there.
Yeah, he was there. You get that, and you add him with already you have Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, and he's
Nolan Smith. You add him with that, and the way he's one of the kids that's thirsty for knowledge, because he was picking Trey. Trey. A lot of people don't know what Trey was doing intern with the Birds. He was helping Connor Ball. When Connor Ball went to the Pro Bowl those couple of years, he was helping to break down the opposing team's tackle and stuff and letting them know what to do. And he was just giving them information and stuff. And I think when you have a young player like that that's thirsting for the knowledge and looking to get better and looking right now, it was just that's why I was saying it was refreshing to see somebody who had respect and was looking to get better.
Well, I this is just my opinion. But what do I know? I think game recognizes game.
Right.
If you want to know who can play, then ask another guy who's played. I think Nolan Smith is very Hassan Reddick-ish.
Yeah.
And probably at this point, coming into the league, he's a step ahead of Hassan Reddick.
Just because of the competition level.
And because of the competition level.
Because Hassan played at Temple. And, even though Temple played some quality people, I think Hassan was because they tried to kick him in the middle linebacker at first when he got drafted. And then they noticed that he was a madman on the edge. Yeah, so it's just going to be interesting to see.
Can you imagine both of those cats coming off the edge?
The funny.
Then you got Sweat too.
Yeah.
We talked about this before.
We talked about all those guys before, but I guess we could get into the side a little bit. I think even though he's a disciple of Vic Fangio, I think he's going to be doing some aggressive coverages. As far when I say aggressive coverage, it's going to be some more man than zone, because sometimes when you run zone, and it's going to be aggressive zones, because when you look at some of the zones that we were running, guys seem like they didn't know where the hell they were supposed to be at. And it's like, and I don't like those type of zones. And you have and then you have zone blitzes, is where you give them the same look that you've been giving them. Right. I was like, but you send different people. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, different people and stuff. And being able to have those interchangeable parts like the young guys that we got and the speed at which we got, you drop into those hot zone places, those hot route places, and you get picks and you get turnovers like that.
Right. Because the quarterback doesn't see them.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of what I like to call organized chaos.
Organized chaos. We have another commercial. I think we went over.
Deepest apologies. Sorry, Robbie.
We got another commercial. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hey, Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
Okay, I think that was our last one.
You think?
I'm not sure. Is that the last one, Ralph, or not?
He'll let you know.
Yeah, he'll let me know. But if I see it pop up there, something pops up, I don't necessarily read it. I just know that we're supposed to go to the next one. Ralph, yep, that was the last one. Ralph said, yep, that was the last one. Thanks, Ralph. I appreciate you big time, man. We can't do this without you, man. I really do appreciate you. Really do. So week 1 at New England,
right?
September 10th, 4:25 on CBS. What's your prediction? What do you think? I think I'm asking you, and I'm just cutting you off. I'm sorry. The Eagles really have to be prepared at the beginning. They only play 3 preseason games, which obviously the starters are not going to play. So they have to really be on top of this game,
right,
going into this, because Belichick, he's a great coach. We know that. He doesn't have all the tools, all the players that he's used to having. He doesn't have a Tom Brady. He got Juju Schuster. Yep, he got him.
Sure, there's a retribution going to be meant to get, because Juju Smith-Schuster went on a bit of a social media tear, like he actually did something to garner the holding call.
Right. I was going to say he was the one that Bradbury supposedly held. Yeah. So, and now Belichick has all off season to prepare for the Eagles. Trust me.
But who do we have on our staff now?
Trust me. Yeah, we got one of his disciples, Mattis. Yeah.
So it's like, and you don't think he's going to be ready to?
Of course. But you don't think Belichick knows that? I'm not saying that the Eagles are going to lose this game. I believe the Eagles will win this game, and they will win this game easy. But the Eagles must be prepared.
Right.
They've got to come out and not make mistakes, which the Eagles aren't a team necessarily. Last year, 2022, wasn't a team that made a whole lot of mistakes. The year before, they had a lot of penalties and so on and so forth. I think we had some penalties early in the season last year, but they're a pretty disciplined team, and you've got to be against a Belichick team. Belichick, they don't have a whole lot. Mac Jones, he from his rookie of the year season, Pro Bowl rookie of the year, he digressed. He went backwards last year.
He put a defensive coordinator as the
offensive coordinator,
and he pretty much he was hamstrung the whole time. I expect them to come out with a bit of a different attack against us, and I expect it to be a good game early on. But I expect street justice to prevail. It means we're going to kick their teeth in and walk away.
It's simple as that, huh?
Simple as that. It's like
Mac Jones is with Bill O'Brien again, so apparently there was some riff going on with Mac Jones. He was being controversial.
The crowd was actually for Zapp. Out of the Zappy, what's his kid? Zappie. They were chanting for him one game. So you had to, that things were not going right when the crowd is chanting for the backup quarterback. So. And you're correct. He was being defiant last year. Yeah, because I think the offense was too simple. I think they went into the offense for dummies playbook. So
because when things aren't going well, you do have to simplify things. Take some of the complicated stuff out and do what you do best, and do that more often.
Kind of like
until you get in the rrhythm.
Kind of like when we made Juan Castillas the defensive coordinator after he had been offensive line coach forever.
Yeah.
No, that's not what you do.
Well, I know on offense, that's what you do on offense. Defense is a little bit different than offense, obviously. But offense, there's a rhythm that's got to take place. There's a rhythm that you have to get in and maintain in order to be successful. And when things are going awry, I mean, you saw it last year with the Eagles when they were in games where things got a little bit out of control, or the rhythm wasn't going the way they wanted to go. You see them start throwing the bubble screens. They throw the bubble screen. They throw the bubble screen just to get things back in rhythm, or try to get something going off of something simple. Off of something simple. So I
can respect that.
Yeah. So when offensively, when things are not going well, you have to do something that you do best.
How about they just sucked?
Well, no, they were not good last year. They were not. Let me see what their record was last year. They were I have it here somewhere. They were 8-7.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm sorry. No. They're 8-7 all time against the New England Patriots. We are the Eagles.
Okay.
4-5 against the Patriots on the road. We're 4-5 against the Patriots. Eagles are also 1-1 against the Super Bowl. Yeah. So the Patriots record last year was 8-9.
Yeah.
They were third in the AFC East.
Yeah.
So
they were stinking up the joint.
They were stinking up the joint. So you have the first game.
Have a W. Yep.
Pates. I'm gonna put Pats there. Pats in mine, and Pats is a win.
Yeah.
All right.
Next game is the Vikings.
What week 2 Vikings? Prime time again. It's prime time. We got a lot of prime time games. Prime time Thursday night, September 14th. 8:15 p.m. Prime time. We're not talking about Deion Sanders. We're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
So let me read this. Philadelphia Eagles 15-15 all time against the Vikings. That includes a record of 11-7 at home.
Mm-hmm.
And this game is at home.
Correct.
We played the Vikings away last year. We play them home now. So
no, we played them home.
Was it home?
Yeah, we had home. It was pretty much around the same time because everybody was.
We played Detroit away. I'm sorry,
Detroit
away earlier.
Yeah, they continue to. This is one of the games that they thought they were going to come in here and throttle us, and because we hadn't played anybody, and we whooped them like cornbread batter.
Well, I think we'll do a little. Thielen's gone.
Yep.
They got to replace those 70 catches, 6 yards. Kirk Cousins got Justin Jefferson, but I mean, one cat's not going to do it all.
No.
We've got a multiple
and also a disgruntled Dalvin Cook because they've been trying to move him.
Right.
The offensive line has always been suspect, and they lost a few defensive pieces through free agency, and they released the middle linebacker. Kendrick. So
okay, I can say they lost Dalvin Tomlinson and then Patrick Peterson. He's a corner.
Yep.
And they're Irv Smith Jr., who's a tight end. They lost him. They got Marcus Davenport though from the Saints.
Yeah, he's a good defensive man, but
he's just average. He started 9 games last year for the Saints. He got half a sack. He got half a sack.
That's what I'm saying. It's like nobody gets cut.
It's not an improvement. So they have they drafted number 1 pick. First round choice out of USC, Jordan Addison, a wide receiver. Hopefully he's going to come in.
I hope he comes in and stinks up the joint. He plays for another team.
They chose him to replace Thielen.
They still got Jalen Reagor, don't they?
No. Is Reagor still there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, Addison, he's a good receiver. He's got the Blitnikoff Award 2 years ago.
Yeah,
First team all Pac all
2 years ago.
First team all Pac-12.
He regressed.
He didn't regress.
Yes, he did.
So I never have been a fan of Kirk Cousins. First of all,
Kirk Cousins sucks.
I mean, he puts up decent numbers
during the regular season.
The record was last year.
What was it?
13-4. Mm-hmm. They were just a game away from what the Eagles' record was.
It was Fugazi.
Was it Fugazi?
You remember the game that they came back on in Indianapolis?
Yeah, but was it Fugazi?
Yeah, go look it up.
What was it Fugazi?
Because when they got in the playoffs, they got showed that why it was Fugazi. They lost to the Giants again. So
watch this. Last year, first of all, they lost to the Giants in the wildcard game. So last year they scored 424 points total. That was 7th in the league.
Right.
They allowed 427.
Yeah, exactly. Fugazi.
Crazy. And to be 13-4,
and they're not happy with Kirk Cousins.
To allow more points than you score and to be 13-4 is crazy.
Very crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, like it's a weird dynamic. That's what they felt like they had to get a little bit better on defense. But in the same right, you turned the ball over. Like in the game against Indianapolis, Kirk Cousins threw I think 2 pick sixes. So I mean, you can't turn the ball over offensively. So
they had more 1-point victories in the history of the NFL. They had 11 last year. Damn. They won 11 games by 1 point last year. So let's look. Well, I mean, the Eagles don't even play into that because the Eagles aren't going to be close. They're not going to have. I don't think the Eagles are going to have a problem.
We kicked their teeth out.
Yeah, winning this game. It's early in the season, so teams are still trying to figure out what they're going to do. So even that rookie that brought in the first round, they're not going to be able to, he's not going to jump Jordan Addison. He's not going to be a factor in the game against the Eagles at the second game of the season. But have the Vikings gotten better as a result of the draft and a result of free agency? Have they gotten better? I don't think so.
No, I don't think they did it.
And the reason they haven't gotten better is because Kirk Cousins is still the quarterback.
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons too. And I know that they were looking to move on from him. And I think he was trying to get an extension. I was like, what the hell for? But I know
because everybody else is getting paid.
Well,
that's why
he's been getting paid for nothing.
That's the Vikings' problem.
Yeah.
All right, so the Vikings is a victory. So we both are 2-0 after week 2. We should be 2-0 after week 2. Week 3, this is a throw in too. At Tampa Bay. Yeah, at Tampa Bay.
Come go with us.
And it's another primetime game, Monday Night Football. Yeah. September 25th. Go Eagles, 7 p.m. on ABC.
To me, this should be retribution.
Why should it be retribution?
Well, hold on. For me, if I've been on this team for 3 years.
Okay, for 3 years. Okay.
When we played them in the regular season, they had Tom Brady. They beat us.
Mm-hmm.
They beat us handily, and the score wasn't indicative of the way they handled us.
Mm-hmm.
So we come back and we played them in the playoffs, and they throttle us. Now you have to be paying attention to the sideline chatter from the then offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich and then quarterback Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
They both were saying, up talking about our defense. This is what made me really hate Jonathan Gannon.
Okay,
I guess hate is a strong word. Dislike.
Yeah. Well, you didn't like what he was doing at the time.
I still don't like what he's doing.
First of all, let's stop right there. We're gonna do preacher and the player right now. Okay. Keep that thought. Okay. We're gonna do the preacher and the player right now.
Okay.
All right. I'm the preacher. He's the player, and we ain't talking about football player. So when you talk about hating someone, this is for all of you who are watching right now too. We have to do a better job of this. Okay. We don't hate people because God doesn't hate people, right? Mm-hmm. We just don't like what they do.
Yeah, okay. I despise what he does.
Yeah, so we have to separate the two between, and that happens in all relationships. You got to do that in your relationship. Can't tell you, well, I hate you, or your woman tell you, man, I hate you. No. You hate what they did, or you dislike what they did. God hates certain things. God hates sin, but he loves the sinner. So you just hate what Gannon was or was not doing.
I just didn't like him.
Okay, we got that part right. Go ahead, player.
The comment was from Tom Brady and Byron Leftwich was, it's just like during the regular season. They're not going to change from or deter from anything that he's been doing.
Got you.
And when you hear the offensive coordinator and the quarterback saying that, and then you double that up with during the season, it's like, I'm not going to change I'm not going to change what I do. Well, you need to, because we're giving up 3rd and 30. That's not. I personally would have got rid of your ass when you did that. That's just like 3rd and 30. Come on, man.
Well, they lost, obviously, Tom Brady.
Right.
They lost Fournette, too.
And Fournette. Yeah.
And Leftwich is gone as well. Yep. Sean Murphy Bunting, he's gone. Mm-hmm. And they got Baker Mayfield in, who's Kyle Trask. He's the backup, I guess. The Bucks are a mess right now.
Yeah.
They are an absolute mess. If this game is even close, Baker Mayfield's been on 4 different teams in the last 2 years.
He was on one? He was on 3 in one season, wasn't he? Was it 2 or 3? He started out with Carolina. So he got traded by the Browns to Carolina, and then Carolina trade him to the Rams?
He's a journeyman.
Yeah,
is what he is. He's not a quarterback in the league, and particularly, he's not a quarterback. I've never been a fan of Baker Mayfield, of his play, of the way he plays.
My brother hasn't been either.
And he's not a guy, not even a backup, as a good backup quarterback, to come in and to maintain your team for a game or two if your quarterback goes down. I don't even think that he's capable of getting that kind of job done. I don't think that he should be a quarterback in the NFL because, and I guess everybody's settling for him, or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers settle for him because there's nothing better than that. But they need to go look in the XFL. They need to go look in the World League and try to figure out something else.
Well, they're still coming up for some of the success he had when he had the play action fakes and stuff. I think he's decent as far as play action fake. If you keep him humble, keep him. It's like when you start going off and acting like you're the reason why we're winning.
Right.
Stop it.
Right.
It's like, because you have a great running game, one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, and you have some great receivers. And then you start ignoring one of your receivers, and it comes out that when you look at film, when they were saying that he was ignoring the OBJ and deliberately going away from him, I saw some film where it was like, "It's no way that you can't see that man running wide open down the field."
Right.
And it's like, and when you start doing that, then you're not a good player. Like you said, you're not a good player.
Well, how long do you think it'll be before Evans and Godwin start complaining about passes and the numbers? I mean, because they had Tom Brady.
Yeah, they had Tom Brady.
And now you're talking about who?
Yeah, you talking about
what you think? You think
Sean
McVay had an effect on Mayfield while he was out there in LA?
I don't know. I think he
taught him something or taught him how to be a better quarterback.
Well, I think he lucked into a couple of victories out there, and that was pretty much it. And it was like it was a team effort, and everybody was like, "Oh, Baker Mayfield." I was like, he scored maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns. Cut it out.
Tampa Bay was 8-9 last year. The record was 8-9. They were first in the NFC South. I predict that Tampa Bay's record will be worse than 8-9.
I don't think it's going to be worse. I think it's going to be close to the same. Mainly because I think they're not tied to Baker Mayfield. They got a couple of young guys. One guy that they drafted later in the draft, and a young guy who was already there. Who they're probably if Baker Mayfield starts faltering and starts
Kyle Trask is his name.
Yeah, acting like he's better than everybody else, acting like he's arrived. We know you won the Heisman in college, yeah. And that means nothing here. You need to win. Is what have you done for me lately? What? But if he starts acting, I feel like they're going to have the testicle fortitude to pull him and put one of the younger guys in to see what you have.
And what do they have to lose? I mean, Todd Bowles is not an offensive-minded coach. He's a defensive-minded coach.
Exactly. So, and they just got a new offensive coordinator who's supposed to be the bee's knees. So
So it's fair to say that Tampa Bay is in a rebuilding mode. Yeah.
That's why I say retribution.
Yeah, they had their time with Tom Brady. They've even had their opportunities. Brad Johnson's won the Super Bowl with Gruden there, and they've had their fair share of success, but not now. Not now. I think it's going to be a good 3 or 4 years before they ever start making any noise again and being a threat to anybody. So I have me down
3-0
for the Bucks as a win, and you down the Bucks for a win. So we're 3-0. We don't even need to talk about the next one. Game 4, the Washington
Commanders.
I'm going to say I don't know why I can't. I'm not trying to say the Redskins, but I can't say Commanders. I want to say Comrades, Commodores.
Some people was calling them commies.
Yeah, I don't want to call them. I don't want to call them the commies.
I didn't either, but it was like when they switched the name, there was some, we'll say, older people.
They could have
a rap video talking about some haters can't stand us.
How
we are Commanders. I was like,
Commanders.
Dude, you have got to be kidding me.
Why didn't they? They could have named them, and they took what, almost 2 years to come up with a name. They couldn't come up with anything better than that.
Said the football team. They should have just left it like that.
Actually, the Washington football team is pretty cool.
Yeah,
but they could have been the Washington Wolves. I mean, that would have been better than the Commanders.
That's more World League-esque or XFL-esque. It's like, yeah,
that's okay, but it's better than the Commanders. What's the Commanders? What is that?
I don't know.
That's like Techno Bowl-esque.
I don't even know what the mascot is.
Commander in chief, the president, whoever the president is at that given time. So that's another game.
That's another W.
But I think it's because of the Commanders. It's a Sunday, October 1st game. It's at 1 p.m. a regular time on Fox. But that's another win. I mean, come on. They picked up Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
That's an improvement. Don't get me wrong. Because Heineke was there and Carson Wentz was there. and the reason, y'all, we keep talking about quarterbacks, because that's where the game starts.
Right.
In the NFL today, anytime you talk about a team and its opportunity or its ability to win, it all starts with the quarterback on offense, because the game is so focused on passing the ball these days, now in the 21st century and 2023 and 2024 and moving forward. The game is so much focused on the passing game that it falls a lot of it falls
on the quarterback. If he can make a quality throw, but
that's why the quarterbacks are getting 250, 260 million, a $500 million contract, Patrick Mahomes.
But when the dust settles, only way you're going to win is with running the ball. Because if like you continue to throw the ball, those passes are incomplete. When you have a lead,
right,
you're going to put your defense in a vicarious situation.
Right. You have to run the ball,
right,
but you have to be able to throw the ball.
Yes.
Better than just efficiently, above average. You have to have an above average passer.
I can respect that, yeah.
Because that's the way the game is going now. And yes, just for balance, you have to be able to run the ball with some success.
No, the part that I think people, because when I tell people when I hear me talking about run the ball, it's like, oh, you old school. No. In the second half, you don't know how much it demoralizes the defense when you're able to ram the ball down that throat, and the clock keeps on ticking, and you can't get the ball back. So you can become frantic, you become anxious. You try to make plays. You run outside your gap, and they hit you with another run. Then all of a sudden, now you want to play the run. All of a sudden, now we hit you with a pass.
Play action.
It's something that goes hand in hand. And I think that like even people will misunderstand me saying run the damn. You run the ball so the play action fake will work.
Well, that's why I'm saying, or we're using two different terms.
Yeah.
But that's my way of saying balance.
Yes.
You can't just throw the ball. You can't just run the ball. You gotta try to make the defense guess. Okay, they're gonna run it. They're gonna pass. So you got to change it up, and that's what offensive linemen love to do.
Right.
They love firing off the ball rather than being the one who's absorbing contact because I'm backing up trying to keep you away from the quarterback. I want to fire off and punish you and be the hammer, not the nail, and initiate contact. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so offensive linemen love it when you run the ball. And like you said, it does. It demoralizes a defense, particularly when you're ahead and you're still having success running the ball. Right. But it creates, again, it creates balance for you. But the bottom line with football, and this is never going to change, the game is won up front.
Right.
The game, you got to have a great passer, but the game is won up front. It doesn't matter how great you can pass the ball, i.e. Tom Brady. If you don't have someone, if you can't keep that defensive line off of your quarterback and give him time to throw the ball, it doesn't matter how great he can throw the ball. It's going to be inaccurate. It's not going to get there on time. It's going to be interceptions. So the game, and this has never changed, it's always been this way and will always be this way. The game is won on the front line. And that's why you see the Eagles. They will spend high draft choices on linemen,
on the big dogs,
yes. And the showcase guys like myself, we are second, in line.
No, it depends. You
get a special one
first.
Well, yeah, but you get a special guy. Yeah, they'll choose you first, but they understand where the game is won.
Yeah,
the game is won up front on the offensive defensive line. So, Commodores? Did I say Commodores again? Commanders.
Yeah, it's a W. It's gonna be a close game though, because I think with Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator, he's gonna run some extra stuff. But I'm glad we got rid of Jonathan Gannon, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Well, Bieniemy is special.
Yeah,
he's been doing a great job out there with Andy Reid and the Chiefs. So but if you don't have the talent to get it done, bro, and they do have a good defense. Don't get me wrong. Washington does have a good defense. I think last year, let me look on this here, my stats again.
What were they ranked?
They were, here we go. They were points allowed. They were 7th.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, and they were 24th in points scored.
Yeah, we almost had everybody make the playoffs.
Yeah. They were right there in the race with the Giants right there at the end. It could have went either way. But they have a good defense. Yeah. 7th in points scored. That's
and they were the first ones to beat us.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So I don't think they've improved their team because they got a problem at quarterback. I don't like Jacoby Brissett, man. He's a journeyman. Like Patriots, Colts, Dolphins, Browns.
You don't like the kid out of North Carolina that they got? I think they're gonna roll. Well, the one reason why I know that they're gonna roll with him was because I think when they drafted him, I think the Chiefs were going to draft him as well because I do know Bieniemy liked him. He liked his skill set, so it's going to be interesting to see how he deploys him. So
he doesn't have any time under his belt, so it's going to take time.
But he ended up starting like towards the end of the year. That he beat I think did they beat the Cowboys handily
with him quarterbacking?
Yeah, he was quarterbacking.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they start just trying to see if they were just going to go forward with him.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess they are.
Yeah.
because Brissett's not a starter. They brought him in, I guess, maybe the mentor.
They keep doubting him, but he
does okay, but he's not going to win a Super Bowl for you. He's not going to win a bunch of games for you.
If you put the same energy that they put into other guys, you'd be surprised with guys.
Really?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just the right place at the right time, too, with the right coach.
Yeah.
Chase Young's got to get himself together as well.
Yeah, they didn't pick up his 5th-year option.
Right, they didn't because of his injuries. He can't stay on the field.
Can't get right.
If he stays on the field, though, he gives that defense obviously the solidity that they need. Yeah. That they need to be a contender, at least a contender in every game that they play. What? Not the Eagles game?
Oh, no, I was looking at the screen. I think is he running a commercial?
No commercial. No commercial. We're out of time though. It's 5:59. Listen, everybody, and we didn't get to all of our picks today. We didn't get through the season. We will next week though. We're going to finish it up next week. We're going to start next week. We didn't get to Hollis history today too. Let's take one more minute, and we're going to give a pause so Hollis can give us some history.
I'm just giving you a quick little excerpt.
Little Hollis history. Go ahead.
Today is May the 19th, 2023. It's the 139th day of the year. There's 226 of these puppies remaining. It's National Devil Food Cake Day, National Pizza Party Day, and Bike to Work Day. Today, on this day, also in 1884, the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus premiered. And in 1992, Amy Fisher shot Mary Jo Buttafuoco. And a couple quick birthdays. Today's 1925 is Malcolm X's birthday, and today in 1962 was the birthday party at Madison Square Garden for one JFK, where the infamous "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" was sang by one Marilyn Monroe.
Happy birthday to you.
And
happy birthday.
And two more quick birthdays. 1948, Grace Jones, and 1949, my buddy Archie Manning. There you
go. Listen, it's my son's birthday today too. Yes. London. Happy birthday to you, brother. Next week we're going to be back on Thursdays. That's our permanent time from henceforth until forever.
Yes.
All right.
Thursday.
That means from now until forever.
Yeah.
Just in case you're not Bible readers. Anyway, from henceforth until forever, we're going to be back Thursdays starting next week, 5 p.m. We'll see you then here at Vetted with Hollis and Irving and Hollis. I'm Irving, and that's Hollis. We'll see y'all next week.